Yeah. This is it. Can show you how we do this. This is it. What? 1, 2, 1, 2. What? This is it. What? Turn me up a little bit, man.
I hate writing bios. I don't even feel like writing mine, but I just got it.
Was
I'm at the line at like I slayed 3 dragons by the time I was 10. Fought a grizzly bear in order to get into the fraternal lodge of grizzly bear killers. And I won this tattoo shop in a poker game down in the basement in fucking Atlantic City.
Is that what you wrote?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm about to write. Here's my bio. You saw a bag of tattoo I did on your cousin's wife. Now you want to come and see me. Boom. Here's my number. Get at me. That's how I roll. Here's one thing I remember the most about VIRO. I don't have that many particular stories. I mean, all the stories are the same. Getting drunk, smoking blunts, making music and having fun at shows, and then having fun at parties at Cal's house. Or his mom's house. Let me correct myself there. But one thing I always remember when people bring up VIRO the Virus is how much respect he gave to me as a creative person in his life. And especially as an MC, which I always felt shocking because I was always humble, always felt everybody else was better than me, that I was trying to get to their level, which I guess all good MCs need to feel that way in order to give their best effort. But he would always be so amazed by the stuff I wrote, or just even things we were talking about outside of the booth, philosophies, just talking about anything in life in general. And he always just seemed so happy to hear what I was saying and sort of like look up to me, which blew my mind because I'm like, dude, this dude's an incredible MC. What the hell is he talking about? Like, I'm nothing compared to him. So that always stayed in my heart. It just shows how humble he was as a man, even though on the mic it was the complete opposite, and he would tear you a new a-hole with a few words. You know what I mean? It's just metaphors. Everything he came up with was just entertaining and funny, and even meter-wise, like technically, he was so sound, and he was just incredible. A funny story I do have, though, it's not necessarily has anything to do with hip-hop, but a good friend of ours, Justin Waleski, who some of you might know from the Philly hip-hop scene and even bigger, gave us all jobs hustling Purell hand sanitizers on a bunch of street corners down in Center City, Philadelphia. So, of course, we were all starving rappers. Some of us didn't even have regular day jobs. And, you know, it's not like we were making millions of dollars doing shows or making albums or anything like that. So we all like to take this job. We were all doing it together. We had to give out Purell hand sanitizers. And for some reason, I just remember it like being impossible to get in touch with VIRO on a phone. It was like, dude, I mean, we had cell phones at the time. It wasn't that far back.
Yeah, but not everyone had
cell phones.
Right,
not everybody had cell phones, though. And I don't even know if he had a house phone. Honestly, I don't even know if VIRO had a house. It's not like I ever seen it. Every time I seen him was somewhere else, you know what I mean? But we were doing this job, and his mom somehow got a hold of my number and would constantly be calling me like, do you know where Calvin is? Or Calvin can't make it today, or Calvin's gonna be a little bit late. And I was always polite to her, but it was funny because I'm like, first of all, I'm not the boss of this job. Second of all, I have no idea where VIRO is. We're wondering the same thing you are. So it was kind of like I became like his secretary. Apparently I was the undocumented caretaker of all these wildin' rappers who weren't coming home at the proper time or something like that, out too long or gone for 3 or 4 day stints.
That Purell gig was like, it was all hip-hop artists.
It was all hip-hop. Like everything, it was either all guys that rapped or DJ'd or made beats, or like the homies of us that you always see with us anyway. Like people you would mistake for being in the group because they were always with the group anyway, even though they weren't really part of the group. Like Jerobi. You know what I mean? Like they were around enough. And so that's definitely what it was. I forget who was able to dress up in the Purell bottle.
Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs Darklighter.
But they paid us.
Yeah,
like $150 a day or something.
And all you had to do was give out Purell. It was the best job for MCs. You could sit around freestyling on the corner, freestyle about why people should use Purell, and we got money for it. It was cold though. I remember it was like in the winter time, so it was It was Buck Wild. Then one day, we all had tickets to go see Doom up in New York. We were doing a Purell gig during the day, and we all had to split and go back to, like, we were meeting at my house to go up there. And VIRO and his boy that was always with him. I forget his name. It's been a long time. Tone. Yeah, VIRO and Tone. Cool ass Tone. Came back to my house and I was like, yo, dude, I'll treat you. Like, come with us, man. We never really get to hang like that. Unless it's always like before or after a gig. But, you know, just to hang out as friends. I was like, just come with us. He was so on the fence. And once again, like, his mom was involved. Like, couldn't get in touch with her or something. I don't know. He had to be home for something. He's a grown man, too. It's not like he was like 13 years old. He wound up not going. I wish he went. We had a ride for him and everything. But this same day, we were at the crib up in my room, and I had just finished the Da Vinci Code, the novel. And Tone was all about it. And VIRO was like, oh, I want to read this. Let me read it. So I lent it to him. And needless to say, I've never seen the book again for the rest of my life. So VIRO, wherever you are, enjoy the present. It's yours, and I never held a grudge that you didn't give me my property back, because I was the same way. Certain people, you lend stuff to people and it just becomes theirs. And what better kind of property than a book? You know what I mean? You read it and it should float to the rest of the world and give them some enjoyment. Yeah, we're talking about the video that I co-wrote with VIRO, co-directed with Steve Tomlinson for the song Top Dog, which was a fun thing to do. I remember being out in the parking lot of some kind of fake Wawa, the place they used to always go and probably get their blunts and whatever else, or munchies. And Slim Dizzle was on the phone acting like he was talking to somebody who was having a bad conversation. He was like bashing the phone. The guy who owned the store was kind enough to let us shoot in front of it during business hours. Came out like, what the hell are you doing to the phone? I think they were throwing around crates and stuff too. That was funny. But the best was when we tried to replicate like a baller type of pool party. And whose house was that?
My friend Sean's.
Yeah, some guy Sean's house, and we, of course, we had like 40 to 50 people saying they were all going to show up. Maybe like 20 came, if that, right?
Yeah.
So we had to try to make 20 people look like there were way more. We had a keg for it and everything. All the video chicks were just regular girls we knew. But that turned into a really fun day, too. We got some good shots from that. I think somebody was doing cake stands. Is that Slim?
Yeah, some good cake
Slim was doing cake stands. Good times, man. I remember another time we were in your parents' basement. It was like Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend or something. Your parents were actually away. You were having a party. And we were doing that freestyle session, and Slim and VIRO were talking about state fairs. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Funnel cake.
Funnel cake.
At State Fair.
State Fair.
I'm talking about funnel cake.
I gotta find that.
At State Fair. Confectioner's sugar.
Everywhere.
That was the best.
Sugar everywhere.
Yeah, confectioner's sugar. The fact that he said confectioner instead of just powdered sugar is incredible. Such good times. So here we are, reliving stories, commemorating the memory of a great man, good friend, super cool cat, never had a problem with anybody. And that's what everybody says about the deceased, but it's true. He was polite. If you ever met your parents, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't put on a front like, I'm this hardcore rapper. He did what he did, and when he did it, he proved that he was good at it. And when he wasn't doing it, he was a great guy, and he was a good man. God bless his soul. I hope he's resting in eternal life now with the Lord. And I'm pretty excited. I got to hear a little bit of the remix album, the 420 remix album. I'm sure other people have heard it by now. Now I'm the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It's funny that I'm the first one because we were just talking about the wrap up, a song that I did on Jersey's Finest, which is called The Wrap Up. Apparently, I just found this out because I was the last one to finally make it to the studio to drop my verse. That's how I was then, you know. Like, yeah, I'll get there. So I don't know what the song was supposed to be called, but apparently it was titled The Wrap Up because I finally was able to wrap up their album, which they were waiting on me to do. So I can't wait for that to get remixed too, so I can actually be physically part of the project. But the 420 remix album sounds great. It's got production by awesome producers, good friends of mine I knew for a long time, whose talent is unparalleled, and that's pretty much all I have to say, man. Good luck with the project, guys. Thanks for including me, and yo, Viro. I hope you're smiling down, looking at us, and coming up with some witty things to say about what you're looking at right now, pal. Peace out, brother.
Yo, you found the flow of 420, and now you know, so here we go.
Hey yo, you found the flow of 420, so now it's time to light some troll.
Yo, look up the definition of lyrical expertism.
And find these two MCs a new
The
species.
definition of some true
We
MCs.
fit the description, definitely. You
Niggas
just
say, what
found
is
them.
the virus? Is it contagious? Silence. I'm your highness, a synonym for violence. My pen is the papyrus. Also listed under a criminal-minded